Today we're talking about my 2023 plans. It's inside this big box. Old. It's on the table in front of me. That's so disgusting. It feels a bit different. That's what I'm going to tell you. Hello lovely people and happy 2023. Welcome back if you are a returning viewer, and welcome if you've never been here before. My name is Molly May. I am the maker behind Ponder and Ply, and this is the first time in ages I've remembered to say that. Today we're talking about my 2023 plans. I will be showing you what I made in 2022, but not for a couple of weeks. I really wanted to focus on starting this year off right, and I have a couple of resolutions for my knitting life and I have a couple of knitting I'm out of practice. The last thing I was doing was Vlogmas, and in case you didn't notice, I stopped halfway through because the burn ate? Maybe I should stop altogether entirely. The burnout was real. So this week's podcast is about knitting resolutions for 2023, of which I have 4. Part of the reason I'm coming to you from somewhere completely different, although this is kind of weird, I'm just leaning against a wall, you know, pretty casually. Oh, and whilst I remember, I am wearing an oldie but a goodie. This is the Ocean jumper pullover sweater by Christina Denay, and I love it. I used to wear it all the time. It's in literally, I think it's in like paint box acrylic. It's from a long time ago, but it has worn really well. It's a really easy thing to sort of chuck on, and it brings a pop of colour to my day. So anyway, part of the reason I'm coming to you from a new location, aka my stash wall, which I'm not sure I've even shown you before, is because my number one resolution is to do with the excess that is behind me. As you can see, I have a wall of yarn. Now, in each of these little cubbies, there must be a stupid number of skeins. Like, I have shoved it in where if you pull one out, all of them will fall out. Like, I had to try and fit everything in. I haven't done it by weight. I've tried to do it by colour just because I find it aesthetically pleasing. I've got my darks, my blues, my creams, my reds, my pinks, my greens. As you can tell, I don't have a colour palette. I just love colour. So we've got all of this, and I keep buying yarn. And I am not going to say that I'm going to stop buying yarn, because we all know that that's not going to happen. However, my plan is by the end of the year to have less than I started with in total. Now, I watched this really good video from Nitty Natty. I'm sure you guys already follow her, where she did a roundup and she reduced all her 50 skeins of yarn to 49. Sorry, to 1. So she got rid of 49 in a year. But she tracked how many was coming in and how many was going out every month, and then sort of did a roundup at the end of the month. I want to do that, except for I'm definitely not getting my stash to 1. I don't even think I want my stash at 1. I like my yarn wall. I just want less yarn in my yarn wall. I want to be able to pull something out and not everything fall out because it's so overfull. But a few inspiration colours in each section would be great. So I have a realistic goal and then a bigger goal. My realistic goal is probably what I'm going to stick with. Yeah, actually I'm going to decide that now. By the end of the year, I want 30 less skeins than I started with. Now, I'm already in a plus this month because I bought a ton of yarn, but I'm hoping that I'm going to use it. Now, for something to leave stash, I have to start using it. So say, for example, I'm making a jumper, I take a skein to start the jumper, that skein is counted as out of stash, even if there's some left when I'm done. However, if I'm starting a jumper that's 8 skein, approximately an 8 skein project, but I've only used 1 so far, I will just count it as 1 for the month. So it might be 8 by the end of the year, but when I give you my total, it's only a skein that I've actually physically broken into. That's the plan. I'm going to do a monthly roundup video. Every month I'm going to tell you how many I've had coming in, how many I've had going out, and we'll analyse how we go. I think January is going to be a plus month, which means I'm going to have to do some serious work for the rest of the month, sorry, the rest of the year to get it down. But I am going to try and buy a bit less, because a lot of what you see behind me, I actually know what I want to do with. It's just there aren't enough hours in the day, and I keep buying stuff and making stuff out of the stuff that I've bought rather than the stuff that I've been hoarding. Now, I know a lot of my other sort of vloggers that I follow on YouTube have only been knitting for a few years. I have been knitting for approximately 10 years, so some of this yarn is at least 5 years old. At the beginning I was using a lot of acrylic and I dipped in and out, so I don't really have much of that stuff. However, some of this stuff is old, but not old by human standards, because that would make me incredibly old. But yes, I want to start getting through this. So the goal is every month, and by the end of the year really, to have 30 skeins, yes, less than I started with. Can be any kind of way, any kind of mini skeins aren't included, and I am going to have a mini skein project. Or maybe I'll do like, I have to use up 5 mini skeins or something, or maybe they're a point of a skein. I'll work that bit out. But it has to be a whole skein, like 50 grams of mohair or 100 grams, you know, that kind of stuff. That's the plan. Let's see how we go. We'll review it as we go. I have a little tracker that I put together. Let me show you. I got really organised. It's on the table in front of me. I don't know how well you can see this. I've got the month at the top, what my live whips are, how many skeins I've used in that project, and at the bottom, what I've used and how many, and what I've come in and how many, with little reminders as to what I've planned to use it for. Now, at the moment, generally speaking, I only buy yarn that I know what I want to use for, bar the odd special skein here and there. I'm going to do that every month, maybe make some extra notes, and we will see how we get on. I quite like leaning against this wall, it's quite comfortable. I think that's everything I want to talk to you about number 1. So New Year's resolution number 1 is stash busting. 30 skeins is less than the end of the year. My secret bigger target is 50. I would love to have got through 50 skeins by the end of the year. Now, what you haven't seen is there's a little box down here, and that's got bags of yarn in it. I also, confessions time, have a suitcase of yarn somewhere in my parents' loft. I put it there when I went travelling for that year, and when I came back I couldn't find it, but their loft is kind of like a dumping ground, so there's a chance I've got beautiful yarn dumped in a suitcase somewhere in their loft. So let's have a look for that at some point, but maybe I'll work with what I've got for now. So yes, number 1, stash busting. Okay, number 2 requires me to dig something out from the stash. Let's hope not everything falls over. It's inside this big box. I actually just dribbled from the box. That's so disgusting. So the next part of my plan and my New Year's resolution for 2023 is to do with my lovely advent from Pigment and Ply. So I've kept it in the box to keep it nice, but I have thread it all onto a yarn, single strands, so we can see the advent. Oh, I can wear it as a necklace. Whoopsies. Okay, it's quite a big necklace. So this is the Pigment and Ply Advent, and I have a beautiful project in mind for this. So resolution number 2 is slow down. I have chosen a project that I'm going to take 12 months to complete. I think so many of the things I make, especially the jumpers, I'm rushing through to get the final project. I'm really focused on the end goal, and as much as I enjoy knitting, my focus is on the product, not the process. This one is going to be especially for the process. So my plan is to do the Arda, I believe it's the Arda scarf, Arda shawl. I'll pop in some details. I mentioned it in Vlogmas. With this, I have ordered, oh dear, I'm going to sneeze. Oh fuck, it's gone away. I hate it when that happens. Okay, that sneeze could be saved for later. Blah, I hate that. Anyway, I've ordered 2 skeins that are coming, unfortunately that adds to my total from the last lot, that will be the main colour that goes alongside it. I've ordered like a really beautiful lilac-y colour. Fantastic dog. I've asked Rob to look after the dog because she is going mental. She had one of the biggest runs around today and she just hasn't been sleeping. She's just like in psycho mode. So if you hear her, I am sorry. But yes, this, I've ordered a lilac to go alongside it. I'm going to do the large version and my plan is each month to do 2 skeins. That's it. There's 24 in total, so 12 months if my maths is not mistaken. Let's hope I can do that level of maths since I released patterns. And then by the end of the year I'll have this gorgeous wrap, and I've done an attainable amount each month, and it's just like slowing down and doing it. And even if I finish early that month, I'm not going to pick it up another colour, I'm just going to take my time with it. It is fingering weight, so 2 skeins might actually be a fair amount of knitting given everything else that I'm doing. The only thing I caveat that with, let me pop it back in the box, is January is flying away from me. I've got quite a few deadlines for myself and also for for myself, and also I'm doing a couple of test knits. So there's a chance January's might not be done by the end of January, given I'm also still waiting for the main colour yarn that goes next to this. But we shall see about that. But other than that, my goal is to catch up and then do 2 a month. And I think it'd be a really nice project to help me focus on the process. The project has is knitted flat. It's got a bit of moss stitch, a bit of stockinette. I think it's a 2-row repeat to keep it interesting, but it's not major. So yeah, resolution number 2 is to slow down and enjoy a year-long project. Resolution number 3 is all about my design career. So we're going to start designing again this year. I took a lot of time out, a long hiatus, but I am back and I want to start prioritising my designs again. So, or for the first time, I always was doing other people's patterns because there's so many beautiful patterns out there. I was always doing test knits for people, which I'm still doing. I'm doing 2 at the moment, but I want to slow down on that, pick up my designs, and my goal is by the end of the year to have released at least 4 patterns. Now I have selected 6 or 7 of my own designs. I have so many things sketched out. I probably have 100 things sketched out. At some point I will do a video reviewing all of my hibernating whips. There must be at least 5 of my own designs that are half finished in there. But I have picked a selection that I want to do this year, and I'll try and do as many as I can, but the one I'm aiming for is 4. With that in mind, in less than a week, my first design of the year is coming out. It is this beauty, the Anya scarf, that I am so happy with. Testing has now finished. We're just working on getting some pictures and some videos ready for you. But yes, this is the first of several designs you'll be seeing from me this year. I don't want to promise anything, but it is my intention to finally give the people what they're asking for in the form of my Scarlette Sweater. I think this year's the year that this gets regraded, retested and actually released. I think it's what the people want and it's what I want, and I wear this all the time, but I feel like I can't post about it because I haven't given you the pattern, and I had to stop testing in the middle of testing I think 2 years ago now because life was a bit much. But this year may just be the year of the Scarlette Sweater. With that in mind, I have sketched out the next release after Anya, which is not Scarlette. It's another accessory pattern, and all I'm going to say is, if you like colour work, I know me colour work, and you liked my Betty harness, this one is for you. That's all I'm going to tell you. So, resolution number 3 is to focus on designing. Finally, resolution number 4 is to be more intentional and to plan better. The planning better comes down to my new journal. I think it's cringily called the Go Girl journal that I just found on Amazon. It's got lots of things in it, but the thing that's been most helpful to me so far is the like monthly spread. So I've colour coded it, I've got my good pens out, I mean business. I'm trying to plan all of my business stuff, so all my pattern releases, when samples need to be done by, when testing needs to be done by, etc, etc, grading, test knits, deadlines, when I need to start things, when I need to finish things, Instagram posts. We're going to try and be more consistent this year. That's an overall goal for me all the time, because consistency is my weakness when it comes to this. As well as YouTube videos, I've got a plan of all the things I'm going to be doing and when they're going to be releasing and when I need to film things. This is going to hopefully help me this year. Alongside the planning is being more intentional with what I'm making. So you may have seen one of my videos last year was what I plan to make this autumn, or autumn of 2022, and I loved making that video, making a mood board, getting a feeling for what I like to make, what my wardrobe needs. So this year there's going to be seasonal videos on the things that I think I want in my wardrobe, what I need in my wardrobe. I'm going to analyse what I've got. It's very, very hand movement-y. When I'm standing, it feels a bit different. So I'm a bit loopy. It's been a long day. It's really dark, but I've got the lights on, which is why it's kind of a bit artificial looking. But I am going to mood board the shit out of my style, get a feel for what's missing, analyse my wardrobe, analyse my knits, what ones get worn a lot, what ones don't, what's missing. One thing I know for spring is cardigans. I have no cardigans. And I'm going to start making them because that's what I need, and that's what I need when I look at my wardrobe and I want to chuck on the knit and I'm like, none of that fits with what I'm wearing. Alongside that, I'm going to be looking at these mood boards, looking at the patterns, looking at my Ravelry, all the things I want to make. There's like 300 things on there. And then I'm going to look at my stash and think, that right there is perfect. Or I know what I'm going to use that for. Or that thing that I planned for. Like, I've been planning on making cardigans for the longest time. I ordered this fucking stunning blue yarn, which has not got a tag on it. Hopefully one of the other ones do, because it was so long ago I don't remember. To make a fingering weight cardigan in the most dashing blue. And it's been in my stash for at least a year. So that is the plan. Use the stash alongside the plan, alongside the mood boards, get a feeling for the seasons. So I think we'll call this one intentional planning. That's number 4. So we've got, let's see if I even remember at this point. Number 1, glance down at notes. I can't even read that from here, I haven't got my glasses on. That's what I needed. Couldn't find my regular glasses, so how about these ones that I keep in the car for driving? I have lost my fucking mind. Anyway, New Year's resolution number 1, stash blast. Let's reduce this to at least 30 less net by the end of the year. We'll have new stuff coming in. That brings up my total, and old stuff going out, but we need more old stuff going out like this than new stuff coming in. Hopefully 3 of these will be in the negative pile and I'll have a beautiful cardigan at the end. Number 2, slow it down. We've got a year-long project to focus on the process, use up my mini skeins and have a beautiful process-focused wrap. Number 3, design. That's a good one. More designs this year. I want to give you at least 4 Ponder and Pie exclusive designs, including the Anya scarf, the Scarlette Sweater, please. If the name gods are against me, then we're all screwed. And something saucy like the Betty Harness, but a bit more sophisticated with some colour work and very complex grading, so you have to give me a sec to get that one out to you. But watch this space. And finally, planning and being more intentional, selecting stuff that I actually need, that I actually want to wear, that I'm actually going to use, pairing those ideas and mood boards with stashes, and being more consistent, putting my face out there for you guys. I think that wasn't so bad. 4 really great resolutions. Now it's time for you to hold me accountable. If you see me buying hundreds of skeins of yarns, be like, Molly, what the fuck are you doing? And if you see that I haven't posted in 3 months, Molly, where the fuck are you? And if I try and finish that shawl, the Arda wrap, whatever the fuck it's called, in a month, say, slow the fuck down. And if my designs aren't coming out, well then I really truly have lost it and I need some serious accountability measures and maybe a whipping. No, don't, that's not a punishment. That one's for you, Knitting Tipsy. I'm going to stop talking because I think I'm just an embarrassment to myself. Please, if you have lasted this long and you enjoy the madness, subscribe, comment, like, follow me on Instagram, head over to Ravelry, do all the good things because it makes me feel really happy and appreciated and justifies the amount of insane hours I spend thinking about this. I wake up in the middle like, no, fuck, I need to do a YouTube video. So please, for me, love you all and have a wonderful week. I shall see you next week and happy knitting.